So for a while on the channel, I've had a lot of people leave comments asking me to talk about Caitlin Clark's relationship with Nike. And this past week, I think some pertinent news came out that necessitated I not wait any longer to talk about how I think they are handling her, how I think the company itself is struggling, and what is really happening here. So, there was a conference call that was happening, earnings call for Nike for their second quarter 2025. And it was like a transcript that leaked on social media yesterday, I believe. And it basically, caught Nike president and CEO Elliot Hill saying they've launched a women's basketball program, which he didn't think we'd ever do. Sabrina, Matt already touched on it, has a number 2 shoe in the NBA. Of course, Sabrina Ionescu. She's had 2 different releases. I think is gearing up for another one, if I'm not mistaken. And they're largely just like, here, you can have the Kobe Bryant line, Sabrina. That's kind of what they did. And later on in the quote, he says, and then we have Asia, and then Caitlin coming back from behind, and behind that, sportswear, a new lineup, or look at the court, look at the basketball, look at football, including the field general. So the net products coming. We're gaining confidence with each season, he continued. So we can kind of see the order that Nike is trying to, push internally, at least. Sabrina Ionescu, then Asia Wilson, and then Caitlin Clark. But when I think about this, Caitlin Clark, I believe, got an NIL deal with Nike during her junior year, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the 2023 season. Then there's the 2024 season, rolls into her rookie year, right? So by this time, not 2025 next year, right? We could be into a WNBA lockout when these sneakers supposedly launch, right? I don't understand how it would take 3+ years to generate the idea of putting a shoe together for Caitlin Clark. Do they think the numbers and the attention was fake? Do they value other players? Are they trying to not upset a power structure within Nike? With, a lot of people speculated, Asia Wilson has to go before, Caitlin Clark, or she's not going to be happy, or this is just all things people have kind of said. And, I've kind of looked at it like Nike should do the best business decision, which would be obviously coming up with a shoe for Caitlin Clark that many people have expressed interest in getting. And to get this news kind of so matter of fact, and this transcript leaking, which only, the real sickos got their hands on. I like to kind of consider myself amongst those. But it just opens your eyes that they have completely dropped the ball on her. They have come out with lackluster merch throughout her rookie season and her college season. They have found it, very difficult to push her on social media and plug her as feel like you just have some kind of cognizance of how important Caitlin Clark was to women's basketball, to sports in general. Hell, I would go as far as to argue she's the biggest basketball star right now, male or female. I don't even care about LeBron James, Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant. When we're talking about Caitlin Clark, she moves the needle like none other. And I would love to be a fly on the wall in the offices of Nike that tell them they need to divert the resources elsewhere. Sabrina, she's got a successful shoe. You're putting that out every year like you would a John Morant shoe in Nike. That's I think that battle's kind of lost, right? So if we just put Sabrina to the side, since she's already launched, something, we're really just talking about Asia Wilson versus Caitlin Clark, who should get the shoe next. Asia Wilson, very decorated player, did do some shady, kind of stuff that I didn't like. When she feigned like she didn't have a shoe and she already had a shoe deal in the works. They just didn't tell anybody. But when Caitlin signed with Nike, it was like, oh, this is rush that Caitlin Clark cannot skip the line. But this seems to be the popular sentiment with her, whether it's how she plays the game or her place within the league, and now business-wise with Nike. Caitlin has other, deals. She's not missing any meals or checks or anything. I'm not worried about that. But when it looks like, Caitlin Clark is about to shatter conventional wisdom, just as she's done on the court, the old gatekeepers, the old players tend to get in the way. Do I like it? No. Should you like it? I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't like. But I think that this is pretty shambolic on Nike's behalf and just dumb. Why wait until 2026? 2026 could be a completely different landscape than it is right now. And I'm not saying this is all going to go away, because I think, she's cracked the code in a way to where I think she's certified, right? But when you add in things like a WNBA lockout, when you add in things like it's no longer her rookie season and it's just different, like as far as like sustaining a phenomenon, I think she's going to be the best player in the league going forward, for the next decade, the signature player in the league, at least. She should be treated as such. Is it because she's a woman? I don't know. And it makes you wonder, did her agent sign the best deal, possible with Nike? Did Nike, Nike locked her in for a long time, and, they paid her like $28 million, which is kind of low when you think about it. It was like, the best offer that was on the table, but I think she quickly outperformed the deal, and Nike's not obviously going to go back to the table or anything, but she's kind of at their mercy, and it kind of stinks. But I know this: the day that shoe does come out, they've got to put a full court press on this. I think people are really disappointed and turned off right now, and I would wonder if they would actually support the shoe just because of how people kind of feel about Nike right now doing this. And with Caitlin, we're never going to hear her complain about it in public or anything. So we'll have to wake up this stuff for her. I feel like she shouldn't have even signed with Nike at this rate, because there's no way that she's at best the number 3 player just in the WNBA. We should be talking about her as the face of Nike at this point. And we're not. And that's unfortunate. Now, I don't know why they would waste an opportunity like this, but I guess that's why they get paid the big bucks, allegedly. Anyway, my name is Rich, and I'm out of here. One lifetime. Peace.